Today we are kitbashing structures for the railroad complex at Evanston on my N-scale layout. If you're into structures, you won't want to miss this. I'm Roy Smith, and you're watching episode number 10 in a continuing series about the renovation at Evanston on my layout. In today's episode, we are going to kitbash 3 structures as part of this renovation series. Kitbashing. That's when we modify commercial kits for use on our layouts by changing their size, shape, and even their function. We certainly need structures on our layouts, whether we buy them fully assembled or as kits or we scratch build them, because they bring life to our layouts. Well, kitbashing is the kind of thing we do on this model railroad channel. So if you're into model railroading, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't done it yet, so that you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. I tried to upload Dispatch, the weekly show for model railroaders, on Tuesday nights, and layout updates on Saturday mornings. But sometimes I fail to meet my own self-imposed schedule. So be sure to hit the notification bell so that you get notified when an upload does occur. In last week's episode, I showed you this satellite view of the railroad complex at Evanston. I want to capture the feel of it on my layout. I say capture the feel because it would be impossible to replicate it perfectly. In last week's episode, I also showed you the 3 Walthers N-scale kits that I will be using to create the railroad complex at Evanston. These 3 kits are the ones that most closely resemble the prototype structures. I will need to kitbash all 3 of them so that they fit the limited space I have for them on my layout and so that they resemble the prototype structures as closely as possible. Remember, the Union Pacific no longer uses the railroad complex. It donated the complex to the city of Evanston in 1972. I want to recreate the structures on my layout as they now exist on the prototype. The Evanston area of my layout looks like this without the structures yet in place. Pretty bleak, isn't it? I tried to start the kitbashing project by laying the structure foundations in place. This approach didn't work very well for me because it was hard to visualize the structures using just the 2-dimensional foundations. For some additional help in creating the scene, I put a satellite view of the complex up on the scenic divider. But I ended up having to put together a couple of walls for each structure to see how I could best place each structure and what modifications I would have to make on each one. I could have done this by scanning the sections of the kits and putting them together as cardboard mock-ups, but I don't have a scanner, so I'm using the actual pieces of the kits and holding them together and in place temporarily with painter's tape. Doing this allowed me to study them and move them around until I was satisfied with them. First, the beginnings of the roundhouse. A photo here implies the existence of the rest of the roundhouse on my layout. And in this space right here, I would love to put something resembling the turntable, which still functions and which people can ride on during public events. In fact, the architectural plans for the renovation of the roundhouse show that the turntable will remain here as part of the renovation. I will put a link to the Myers-Anderson architectural report down below. Here's the machine shop and the power plant. Did you notice how all 3 structures are set at angles and not parallel to the backdrop? This is intentional. Setting the structures at angles allows you to see at least 2 sides of every structure and not just one. It adds depth to the scene and it makes the scene more interesting. Let's go over to the workbench and start with the machine shop, because that's the easiest one to modify. Like most modelers, I do have an X-Acto knife. but I prefer to use a razor saw when cutting through the thick walls that most kits seem to have. I'm cutting away a third of the structure. It's a little scary to cut up these expensive kits, especially when I'm not totally sure of how it will turn out. But I will have to be a little brave and just start cutting, or I will never get it done. And a little sanding of the edge I just cut. And here's a modified version of the machine shop set in place. As you can see, I now have a lot more space between the structure and the tracks. I will use some of this space for roads and parking lots, and some of it for the remnants of the tracks that were once used in the railroad complex. This is the prototype. As I said, it now belongs to the city of Evanston and has been completely renovated for public and private events. Photos like this one will be important later on when I try to paint the structure on my layout with colors matching the prototype. Over here is the power plant. I have already modified it to fit the space. As you can see, it's not a perfect rectangle. I don't know, I guess you would call it a trapezoid, but that won't be obvious when viewing it from a normal height. Here's the power plant on the prototype. As I mentioned last week, it is the only building in the complex that still belongs to the Union Pacific. It seems to be badly deteriorated, and I will try to recreate it as such on my layout. Now, moving back to the roundhouse, saving the best, or should I say, saving the most difficult of the three structures for last. Over on the workbench, I am cutting away a third of the structure's length. This is what the prototype looks like. With 28 bays, it is one of the few surviving roundhouses in the country. A good portion of it has already been renovated by the city, especially the exterior. The part of it that has already been renovated is used for events. I will try to match these colors when I paint the roundhouse on my layout. When the renovations are completed, it will be used for larger events and for city offices. This is what the roundhouse on my layout looks like following surgery. Sadly, I will only be able to use about a third of the pieces that came in the box in finishing up this structure. You can see that I cut away the part of the structure shown in the red box. I did this for two reasons. First, so that it would fit the space, and second, so that the profile of the structure would more closely match the prototype. As you can see, the profile of the prototype shows that it has only 2 heights, not 3 as in the original kit. Well, that's what I've been able to get done this week. As you can see, I still have a lot to do, and you will see me doing it in upcoming episodes. I described my overall plans for the structures at Evanston in last week's episode. I will put a link to that episode down below. Thank you for joining me today. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't done it yet. I'm Roy Smith. Be sure to join me next time. Until then, happy railroading.